So here's my setup for mostly automated furnace setup. So here is 6 furnaces. For each furnace there is 2 sorters and 1 sorter here. So here how it works. It will grab the ores which is in white list. The furnaces here is on the right side, and the rest, if you put it in like coil, which you usually don't need to smelt. Some volatiles, not nuclear, but nitrogen and stuff. So here I have some ores. And this is the lead, gold, here is oxide, which will be sorted. Volatiles, oxide as well. So the only thing that you should keep your eyes on is these windows, because if you put ores like mad, you might get this sorter jammed. No other things can be jammed, theoretically. Okay, damn it. So I've put it in the belt accidentally. But it will not be smelted because it's not in the white list. So here I go. All the belts, empty it. Except one, which is here already. So here is the last chunks of ore. Okay, done. How the system works. How to make it. So, oh wow, this is kind of a mistake. This one's too. Not sure why, but I will do this a bit later. So basically, here is a sorter. It connected to the computer, so you need two motherboards for the computer. One of which is a sorter motherboard. So I've taken the what's it called, label to label the sorter as primary sorter. Put in these 7 ores and wants to be smelted. So every time you put the proper ore in white list, it will go through this side, the right side. So then it gets there. There's a junction, some corners and outlet, chute outlet. So the chute outlet inserts ores to the next sorter. Next sorter will evenly spread the ores which it takes to the next sorter. Next order, we'll put ores where? Let's see, back to the first one, because it's always 6 furnaces, not 8. If it will be 8, it will be simpler. And to the next sort, basically. So here is the input. So this is input from the first sorter. The second and third sorters will feed the sorter below, which will feed a pair of furnaces. The input consists of the outlet chutes, which is very important, because if you just connect it straight away with like a window, like right here on output, it will be jammed, so you cannot rely on this windows. So now how to make furnaces activate themselves. Let's take the crowbar. So every outlet and every sorter outlet furnaces are connected to one net, wire net. That is all, yes, yeah. So there's a logic reader for each furnace. Not even one, but these ones. There's 6 furnaces, so there's 6 logic readers. Reads its state if it have something in it. So it reads like logic reader LR. In this case, I've labeled it, so it will be easier. It reads arc furnace 5. Arc furnaces, of course, has been labeled. Otherwise, they will all be named like arc furnace. And it reads its import slot occupant. So if the input slot is occupied, it will send 1, like here. If it's not there, then it will be 0. So next step is logic writers. Logic writers will read logic reader's state and output to furnaces. So, for example, if logic reader see something inside the input slot of a furnace, this furnace will be activated once. That's why you should have the outlet, because if you just connect it straight up, it will always be occupied, but you cannot reset the activation, so the furnace will be activated once, and that's all. Well, this is a kind of mistake here for some reason, basically because of bugs. Sometimes you can see this stuff not working, but system is working just fine normally. Then you will need you will need to configure outlets, because by default outlets will always open up if there is something in it. So you should lock it. The only way to lock outlets is through the computer. That's why you should. That's why you need the logic motherboard. So for example, you just put in the logic motherboard. You state set condition as CO1. In this example, is I've labeled all the shoots outlets as CO. So there are 6 of them, and you should check the condition. If it's locked is false, for example. Action. Well, action, you guess. You just choose the CO1 lock. Well, I can show it. CO1 lock true. So it will set this shoot outlet lock state as true. There is no other way to do it but computer. So logic system cannot write the state of the outlets, as well as inlets for shoots. I wish there will be an easier way through the computer only, but no, it's not. You have to deal with the logic system. So when the outlets are locked, this one is not for some reason. Which is this? I will like briefly check. This one is CO6, which is the last one. CO6 lock is false. No, lock is true, so it means it is locked. Okay. So when furnaces are activated, they will smelt ore and put it on the outlet chutes. So all the furnaces connected, like so, and there's just a simple exit for them. No outlet, just chute. So here is all the smelted ore. And this is not smelting, not ores. Actually, it's ice, oxide, volatiles, coil, might be well, everything that is not in the whitelist. So everything you don't want to smelt, basically. So the next thing is how to make outlet work when it's needed. So for example, you have no ore in outlet and furnaces, so their state will be zeros. So you want outlet to put an ore inside the furnace only if there is no ore inside, so the input slot is empty, basically. For this purposes you should have the readers. They will read. What will they read? It's writers. Logic readers, 6 more, of course. So they will read arc furnace state if there is a slot occupant. So if there are input slot occupants. Yeah, this one's still for some reason, so I have doubled them. So they read if there is a slot, if there is an ore in the slot. Then there is a second array of readers which will read if there is something in the outlet, so it's COs. It reads COs state. If there is something in it, like CO4, import slot occupant. So if there is nothing, it will send 0. If there is anything, it will send 1. The same with furnace. And then these two signals will be compared in the processor, which is compare unit variation. It will read both of these readers. Reader 1, input 1 is basically furnace state, input slot state, compared if it's less than outlet state. So for example, if furnace's slot is not occupied and there is an ore inside the outlet, it will be 0 and 1. So it will be less, input 1 will be less than 0. If it's true, if it's less, the processor will send signal 1. This signal will be read with logic writers. So there is 6 more logic writers which reads the logic compare, the processors, compare units, and send the signal, pass the signal to chutes, to open. So if there is no ore inside the furnace, but ore inside the chutes, outlets, it will open. So basically, this setup should work, but because of some bugs or something like that, yeah, it's basically bugs. Because some of the furnaces works properly, some not. Not furnaces, but outlets. So because the system reads if there is anything inside the furnace, these ones, it reads if there is anything, and these writers activate the furnaces. So if I like put the ore inside, it will activate it. But now let's see if maybe it will work from the second time. A little bit smoother without bugs. I can make a tutorial with like few furnaces to show how it's done. Let's say I put this over here, grab the last jammed for some reason ores. Oops. How? Stay here, please. Copper and god damn it. Where do you take this ore from? Let's take everything. Oh, it's taking it from the chutes basically, because there is something inside, like here. There is a ore inside, and when it gets to sorter, by the way, the sorter might be jammed, maybe, I don't know. Let's see. So once you set up the lock state for the outlets, you may just delete everything. There's no need in that. Same with sorters. If you set the sorter, just don't need it. But you should keep the sorter motherboard somewhere, or maybe disk, that data disk. I don't know how it works. Basically, it should save configuration, but motherboards should save. So you should keep the motherboard for sorter somewhere nearby the computer in case you will jam this one sorter, the primary sorter. To unjam it, there is only one way to deconstruct it. So you just deconstruct it, construct again, label again, and if there is any logic unit connected to it, you should like reconnect it again. But there is nothing, no logic unit connected to this particular sorter, so there is only one sorter that can't jam. Is this one basically, because the others, I'm not sure about others, but this one cannot jam at all because there's an outlet before it, and this outlet connected to this part of the system. So there is a 4 units, overlook units, 1 compare units, 2 readers and 1 writer. The readers will read the sorter 1 state, the sorter which is the next after the primary sorter, which is this one. So it will read its state like slot occupant, and the second reader will read the outlets slot occupant state. So these two are being read by these readers. And there again compare unit, which is processor, it will read the sorter LR-S1 and shoots state and compare it as same as with furnaces. If the sorter have nothing in it, it will be true state, and it will send the state 1, and the reader, the writer, will catch this information and set the outlet to it will tell the outlet to open this one. So there is only one possibility to jam system, is to put ores in this sorter like mat. That's why you have the windows basically. So if you see the ore already here and it's not moving, you should stop pushing the ore, which basically the easiest part. The hardest part to deal with bugs, because they just occur and the game is a little bit imperfect right now, so it's early access, nothing special. But yeah, you can make the automated system for ore furnaces, sorting and smelting. So here's a few more ores. Yeah, this sorter is jammed basically because there is an ore and it's not moving. I have a light for the sorter 1. If it's working, it will light, but it's no need in it because of outlets. So to improve the system, I could actually put the outlets for each of the sorter. So there should be an outlet for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sorters more. So there should be 5 more outlets, and for each outlet there should be a reader, 2 readers basically, processor and logic writer, so you will need 3 logic I/O and 1 processor for each sorter. And this is the way how to avoid any jams and make furnaces automatically activate when there is no inside. So yeah, this particular system isn't perfect because I need to make the outlets and configure them properly. But basically this is just an idea, so if you wish you can realize it in your game. So enjoy.